I like your prediction. We'll try to hold true to that. I want to thank the General for being here today. And just, I'm not supposed to say anything, but you know me, I can't help not say something. I'm really excited about this Thursday and the salute to the military. And you know, one of the things as you come in our building, I don't know if you guys notice, but right there as you turn left off the elevator, and right you'll see a picture of Pat and Kevin in their Ranger uniforms, and then right there on the left you'll see a 4-foot by 8-foot American flag. If you'll turn and look down the hallway, you'll see a sign that says that there's 76 former Sun Devils that served our nation, and it talks about three of them rode with Teddy Roosevelt's Rough Riders. You got Bronze Star, Silver Star. We got just a tremendous history in Sun Devils who serve. And so that American flag's made up of a 2-inch by 2-inch picture of every Sun Devil that served. And one of the reasons why that's there is that, I'm an educator and a teacher, and I represent this university. And, and one of the things I think that when I came here, one of the reasons why I come here is because of the philosophy that Dr. Crow has. And that's one of being a teacher and our obligation to teaching the values of what our country is all about. And I think the number one value is that, and we talk to our players, is about, recognizing and respecting that people pay a price. And the men and women that serve in our military, they pay a price, and a heavy price for our freedoms. And it's not free. And so much of the time, I think it is our responsibility to do that. And so that's the reason why that flag's so big. And that's one of the reasons why that we're taking this time this week to be we're all Sun Devils, but we're part of a bigger team, and that's being an American. And, it's really close to my heart because I feel like, everybody in this country should serve it. How I serve it is being a teacher that teaches the values of what our country's all about. And respect and honor the people that pay the price for us is very, very important to me, and something we teach our players every day. And obviously we talk about Pat and what he means to this program, and not just what he did on the football field being a player of the year, and a defensive player of the year in the conference, but what he did academically, and how he served his teammates and served his family, and what a dynamic individual, but his individuality always came second, and ultimately gave his life for his country. And sometimes I think we have so much news and things like that, you become immune to it. But we talk to our players every day, and our players are truly, on behalf of them, I want to make sure that the men and women of the military know just how grateful we are for their service. And so that's what Thursday's all about. And that's why we're honoring them with the uniform that we're wearing, and just telling them how much we appreciate their service for our country. And I don't take it lightly to be an American, and we're just so lucky to get to live in this country. And the reason why we have the rights that we have and get to do the things that we do, like playing this great game, is because there's been a big price paid, and it's been paid by the men and women of our military. So it's very personal to me. It's something that, General, that's the only thing in my life. I have a couple of regrets that I won't mention here, but the one as far as I wanted to be a Marine, and that's what I was going to do. And my high school coach said, "Well, son, you're going to get a scholarship." So I wound up playing college football, and probably was a better path for me. I probably would have made it very long. But we really appreciate you being here. And this is not something we're just doing. It's something that's really, really important to President Crow, to Ray, to myself, and to our players. We've got great, great respect. Every game, when I came here, we run out with the American flag every week. And it's something we talk to our players about, that I'm very, very proud of. And we live in the greatest country on earth. It's something, even with something I think is important, like with my son, every night when we say prayers, we always pray for the men and women that are sacrificing in the military for us. And so that's what Thursday's about. And we're going to go out there, and I'll talk to our players about how important this is. And I'll be talking to them in pregame and talk to them all week about just how important that is and how we play. And that's one of the reasons why we play this game. And obviously, we want to win every game, but it's how we do it. And how we represent our school and how we go about doing things. That's why character is so important, and discipline is so important, and respect and honor. And respect is something you give and in return you'll receive it. So that's what, we try to teach the same ideals, and so we're excited about Thursday, and really just blessed to get the opportunity to thank the men and women in the military. Questions?
Todd, as the offense has struggled at times this year, have you found yourself spending a little bit more time with that end at all, or has it been kind of, the normal routine?
Well, that was a mood killer question right there. After that, I was feeling really good until that question there. No, I mean, here's the whole deal. You play the whole season to get to the end of, this is the last week in October, I think, in November. Championships are won in November. And every year, no one ever gets it right usually. It's going to be the team that just comes out and every single day. I always tell our players, when I come out on the field and I look and I watch every person in our organization, that person is serving and he has a passion, right? He has an intent to get better every day, or you don't. I don't talk about smart and dumb. I talk about people that are conscientious and people that are careless. And so right now, this time of year, there's been a big focus on that. So I've been working on both sides of the ball. You probably noticed that when I'm out there. But my whole deal is about rising up, man. It's about finish. In our program, there's 3 things, outside our values that we're trying to accomplish. We want to operate with great speed. And if you have character and you're smart and you have the values that we stand for, that you can operate a lot faster than everybody else and a lot more efficient. Physicality, we want to be very physical. And then last thing's finish. And man, it's time to rise up and finish. And don't worry about anything other than, I think the team that we're playing, Oregon, is at full strength. I think that it's, no doubt, you look at, what their program's about, the challenge ahead of us. But the key for us is to take care of the football. That's the key. If we take care of the football, we're going to win. That's how simple it is. We're playing it. I think when you look at you can dissect it all you want. We win and lose as a team. Have we reached our potential? Have we played to our potential offensively? No. And the number one thing that we focused on for 2 weeks is ball security, taking care of the football, and getting our speed and our tempo going. And that's the things that we have to focus on offense. So you can't just. You gotta have, we have leaders and we have people in place that are calling the plays and doing all those things. Matter of fact, Coach Patterson's calling almost every defense now and doing a tremendous job. No one really notices that. I actually signal for him because I communicate with him. That's the honest truth. I think offensively the big thing is just focusing on getting better at one thing. And the one thing we've got to get better at is our tempo and owning the football. That's it. That's been the number one focus for us. So you can't worry about all those things. Every year there's a team that I watch in this league for the last 3 years, that rises to the occasion. In 2013, it was us. We rose to the occasion, and no one expected us to be playing Stanford in the championship game, but we won the South. And we did that because we had a group of guys that fought and refused to stay the same and got better every day down the stretch. So that's the key for us. And obviously, it's a must win. We have to go get it done. And I don't care if it's 3-0 or 60-59. I just want to win. So we have looked at those things, Doug, and dissected them and really tried to look and say, and we're really close. It's just things that are. You look at the UCLA game, and you look at how we put it together there. We've really put together one complete game as a football team. But I would tell you that we're playing at the highest level we've played at on special teams. But still, we shanked a punt last week and fielded a ball inside the 5. There's very little margin for error. But we're playing better on special teams than we've ever played here. I think we're playing better and run our run defense and set a record pace in TFLs and sacks and all that defensively, but you don't get to do that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You got the best defense in the world. You lose, nobody cares. It's about the team. And so we do need to correct the one thing that's slowing our team down more than anything else is turning the football over. The second thing is the fact that we are operating too slow. Right? And some of that's complexity of what we're doing, but we have gone back and really tried to, come together with a plan that our guys can execute and execute it quickly.
Coach, I want to get your thoughts on what makes Oregon's rushing attack so good. Secondly, on that is
Their running back, he's really good. Their running back, obviously big up front. They've got a great scheme, and it's hard to kind of say who their scheme is like. I think the way they run the ball is very similar to what Arizona does and what UCLA does. So it's more of that style of a running attack. He's just powerful. He's 230 pounds. He gets downhill. He's very patient, a lot like Paul Perkins, very patient. Not just a bruiser guy, a guy that's very, very patient about what he's doing. And then they have the guys that complement him that have tremendous speed. So they're not just one-dimensional. They can run it inside, outside, run a lot of misdirection. Every play's a run pass, so they really hold you accountable on the perimeter. So, he's the second leading rusher in the nation, and good reason for that. A lot of his yards are after contact. We've got to do a great job of tackling him. And, the strength of our defense is our run defense. And so it's a big challenge. It's going to be a big matchup. What was your other question? Sorry to interrupt you.
Well, I guess you kind of touched on the end, Coach. What's the emphasis in facing that rushing attack?
Yeah, our emphasis is obviously, being sound in our gap fits, and we got to stop the run, and keep it in front of us in the back end. Because the other thing about Oregon's offense thrives on the cheap one-play touchdown, and so we got to do a good job of vertically cutting people off and being accountable. They hold you accountable with all the run passes, so you got to make sure you don't leave somebody free. You got to be very sound in your coverage and also very tight in your run fits.
Coach, the Pac-12 is only 4 or 5 years old now, but there's been a lot of great starts and then teams that have faded and not finished well, or vice versa, come on strong at the end. What do you make of that? And what are the keys to finishing strong, sustaining through a whole season?
Yeah, I tell you, that is. We spend a lot of time, in the off season. I spend a lot of time talking about that, and I spend a lot of time complaining to Coach Cassidy about it. Is that I tell him all the time, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, God, you know how important this is? Because it's so hard to get your team up. I don't know if it's, maybe I'm getting old, but man, it is so difficult. There's so many factors, from travel to times you play. This is probably one of the most challenging leagues to play in from a time standpoint, because the game's so late at night and all those things, the travel. It's pretty important the years you have more home conference games than the years you don't. There's so many factors, weather, I wish we played all of our non-conference games the last 3 games of the season, and so that way we could have everybody come down here in September instead of us go up there. You know what I'm saying? There's so many factors like that. So, but the key is, is just getting that's why your foundation, the principles of your program, in how you finish is so important. And we faded last year. We were strong, and then we went and lost a couple of games we shouldn't have lost. Finished up good, but at the end of the day, and it was different in 2013. You got towards the end of the season, went over the Rose Bowl and clinched it in decisive fashion, and just played, was going stronger as we got to the end of the season. Obviously got beat in the championship. The first year, I thought we got stronger as the year. We obviously lost 4 straight right in the middle of the season. So it's how you finish, and championships are won in November, but the key is the mental maturity of your team. And if your program or anything that you do, any organization, has to be based on values and characters about service and sacrifice. So we talk about that. It's so important. There's so much entitlement, and there's so many things that don't matter. There's so many things that things are so overanalyzed. Things are already so, at the end of the day, man, you bring it every day, and you serve the guy next to you. And if you can create that kind of culture, I feel good about our team, because our team really responds well to adversity. The problem is I wish the adversity would quit happening. And so now there's no margin for error. There's no responding to adversity. You have to win every game to even have a chance. And so, it's all about, what's in here, man. And you face, your character's exposed when you face that adversity. But to be a champion too, you've got to have consistency and day in and day out. And that's what we talk to our players about. And that's why, discipline, if they throw everything else out, it's about discipline. And it's about self-discipline yourself, man, to get focused and prepared for every game. And what I find that's so challenging as a coach is the key is to getting better. You stay the same, you're going to lose. You stay the same, you're not going to win. It don't matter how good you are. Is that the team that gets better every week is the one that's going to be left standing at the end. And in this league, it's never the one everybody expects. So, and that tells you how that heart and desire is 10 times more important than talent.
Todd, a few weeks ago you said that you would like to see Daz get to a level where he can help you out defensively in addition to special teams. Is he getting to that point?
Yeah, he's giving me a headache today. We're teaching him the spur. I'm probably giving him a headache too. We've had a interesting 2 weeks, but no, I really think that he has been a standout player for us on special teams. And he is a winner. I mean, he comes from a winning background. He's a winner. From the time I met him and his family, that guy is impressive. And I really think he's a guy that can help us. So we've worked him at that spur position, as well as the adjuster position, and where Liu plays. And even though it's hard because he's trying to learn a complete new position in 2 weeks, but I do think that he might see some playing time there. He's really, I think, a guy that can help us. Smart, disciplined, just our kind of guy. And he's got really good ability.
Coach, I want to get your thoughts on Ducks quarterback Vernon Adams Jr.
Here's the big thing about their team. I think they struggled, obviously, when he got hurt and he wasn't in there because he has a tremendous cast around him. Out of all the teams that we've played in our conference, obviously USC, UCLA, Oregon's right there when you look at their skill players as far as the talent base, when you look at the running back, the receivers, and their ability to hit big plays. He gives them that stability, and he is a guy that can extend plays, and he's very difficult to keep corralled. Heck, he came out of the pocket against Michigan State and threw a ball left-handed. I mean, he's very athletic and completed it. He's very athletic. He's the guy you can tell is their guy. He's the guy they want in there. He had been hurt, and now they got him healthy. They got the 2 offensive linemen back that are healthy. I expect them to be full strength, and he's the guy. I mean, he's the guy that makes it work. They got him back against Washington, and they won. And they kind of got a big lead, and then Washington came back on them. He's a guy that's a very dynamic player because of his ability to extend plays, and you got to keep him corralled. And when he gets outside the pocket, he can do a lot of damage because he's got a tremendous support staff around him.
Todd, because you haven't played Oregon for 2 years, does it make it more difficult to prepare for them? And then also,
everything we did last time, we're trying not to run.
Also, could you just talk about Marcus Ball a little bit and where he's at right now?
Yeah, I mean, he's just in the depth. I mean, he's playing on special teams and, working hard to get better. That's about what I can say about that. He starts on a lot of our special teams units and just working hard to get better. As far as not playing them for 2 years, I mean, obviously in the summer and stuff, we spent a lot of time studying. Anytime you're playing the defending national champion, you're going to spend some time working on them. They're very different, and they've got they're very well coached. They got a very sound offensive scheme. It's very difficult, and the key is not giving up cheap touchdowns. That's the key for us, and being very sound in top-down coverage, and being very assignment oriented for misdirection.
Coach, just because of the numbers both teams can put up offensively and what teams are allowing defensively, does this have the potential to be a shootout on Thursday night?
I surely hope not. We don't want that.
Anyone else? Mike, do you like your Thursday night game?
Do I like Thursday night game? Sure.
You prefer Saturday?
I prefer Saturday at 1 o'clock. Well, because we have to, we have TV and we'd like to pay the bills. I'm not supposed to say that, probably.
That's fine.
Okay.